What's up, Wargamers? So not too long ago, Blacksite Studios sent me some kits for Himetsu. And I'm going to try something new today. I've not ever really done any unboxing builds, but we're going to give it a go today with the Dojo kit. Now, I love that they've gone back to putting the QR code down here on the corner to get to the directions for the videos. It does make things a lot easier. So let's crack this thing open. These are our sheets. G, F, A, D, C. Oh, I like this, like actual corrugated paper for the roofing and stuff. That's pretty sweet. That's new. That's not the normal material that they use for that. So that's really nice to see. We got this. I'm not exactly sure what this is. Huh. We've got this, which is not really cut all the way through. It doesn't seem. That's unfortunate. And sheet E. So step one creates our foundation with these A1 and A2 pieces. We're gonna take this big old honking thing right here. We're gonna put us a little bit of glue. Now I am both impatient and a heathen. I will not ever put together an MDF kit with white glue or wood glue or anything where I have to like bind it, clamp it, or any of that nonsense. Nobody has time for that. Now, when you're doing this, be sure to keep an eye out, because every once in a while you'll get pieces that aren't properly punched out. You want to make sure you deal with those in a prompt and timely fashion. Just set that down right there. Make sure we're square, or as square as we can get. Nice. Then we got our steps. Again, check, make sure you want to clean up those edges. Some people use a sanding stick. I just tend to cut it with a blade. So this piece right here is C2. It's the kind of wooden floor for the dojo. There's nothing under it to support it. So I just kind of got it into place, and then I had to give it a couple of, even after cleaning stuff up, I still had to give it a couple of taps to get it to sit down in. And then I'm just gonna hit it with a couple of spots of glue, kind of tack weld it into place. And then I'll hit those couple of spots of glue with some of ye old quick set to rapidly set that in place so that I can continue working. This is how I deal with MDF, because again, I am an absolute impatient heathen. I assume that this piece is supposed to slot into that hole. There are no supports or anything underneath it, so you flip it over, and then you got that sitting into place. And then hopefully we don't accidentally like knock it out of place as we go to the next step. Next we need E9. Oh, this is always so sketchy when these pieces are super, super thin like that. Okay, E10. God, that's sketchy. E9. Always twist. Never try to push or pull. Always try to twist. Minor correction, we need the D before the E. So these are should just slot in. Yup. Beautiful. Hit it with some of that super duper glue. Just like that. Then these pieces, once our walls are in place, these pieces will just kind of go over the front to create that kind of traditional looking facade like so. just like so. Now I suggest that you put on these side pieces first, then put on the front and back, as the front and back has a little bit of overhang to cover the width of that piece that goes on the side. So I would say put on the sides first, then put on the front and the back. With those pieces firmly attached, and also I didn't do it the first time, but I went back and put a little bit of glue on that middle piece because it was a little bit flappy and flimsy, and I didn't like that. So we reinforced that bad boy with a tack weld of super glue. Now the windows and doors, which is sheet F, these are meant to be doubled up with a piece of just white printer paper in between them. Now, when dealing with this flimsy stuff right here, don't even try to twist it. You will obliterate everything you're trying to do. Just take your blade, trim the connection point, and just pop it out. Don't try to twist these. You will tear this thin kind of cardboard type stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and get these chopped the rest of the way out. With all of our pieces chopped out and assembled into piles, we're going to take one side and we're going to glue that side to a piece of paper, like so. Here we have all of our pieces cut out, and again, I'm a savage. No white glue, super gluing it to the page. Now, I jacked up this one. I messed up here. I had a good idea after I did it, and that is to glue these to the edge so that we don't have to cut out around that door. So we're going to give this a second to dry. We're going to cut these out with our handy dandy blade, and we're going to glue the other pieces to the other side. It should look something like this. And here we have our pieces. We're going to take these and glue them to the other side. Easy freaking peasy. And now that we've got all of our pieces, front and back, those are ready to be installed into the walls of our dojo. And at this point, friends, we've made our first mistake. Definitely won't be our last. I make mistakes putting these kits together all the time because sometimes the directions are just tough for my brain to process. These pieces are not intended to be glued together. One of them gets glued to the outside, the other one gets glued to the inside, and then these pieces are able to slot in between where you can slide them open and closed. As I cannot fix that without having them super glued together, I'm just going to be gluing these into place. It is what it is. So as it turns out, I was mistaken again. With the exception of one of the ones on the side, all of these fit in snugly enough that I could just kind of stick them in place and they're still able to slide open. So while the inside is not exactly the way it should look, I'm okay with that. Obviously you would want to do it the proper way, but this will work. Now at that point, our ground floor is complete. So we're going to take this, we're going to set it to the side, and we're going to start in on the roof, which begins with B1, which is this big. This is sketchy. Oh God, all these little teeth. Can I get it to a point where I can give it a twist? Maybe if I can. Oh God, I'm worried I'm gonna break these teeth. There we go. There we go. Got it free. Let's punch. Wait. No. I think that stays, but we do want to take our blade and pop out these little bits. I think that's just there to give you a guideline kind of situation. Pop out all the little doodads. All right. Clean B1. We're then going to gather up the D4s. And, come on, let it go. And the D3s, get those going. I love it when they just twist and pop out real easy. Pop that piece out. We don't need that. That's trash. And these are gonna go short side, there, and then long sides here. Should look something like this. Like so. And then we're gonna pop out these 3 C pieces. These create supports. These won't actually be seen in the finished product, I don't think. They're just there to give some structural support for the roof. To the trash pile. That's it right there. Now, be aware when you're putting in these supports, there's no notches or anything that they lock into, but there are tab, there are holes right there at the end, and that's where this will sit down onto the top of the Dojo. So make sure that you don't cover those up, or else it may not sit down properly. We're gonna claim the E6s. They're in the Mafia. And the E12, which is this top piece right there, pops out nice and easy. Give it a quick, that's the wrong knife. Give it a quick cleanup. And then, like so. Be gentle with these pieces. They are very thin and spindly. You don't want to break them while you're trying to clean them up. These are going to go onto the front, like so. That all comes together like so. Up next, yes, this is, we go from the top here. So we've got these little doodads right here, where we've got an E7, and then an E3 in the middle, and then an E8 on the side. We do that way for these two corners. This one, these two get done a little bit differently, it would seem. So those pieces will go in like that. The next part of these directions are slightly confusing, but you're looking at it, it's showing you from the top down, and we've got E3, E7, E8 on these two corners, and then on the other sides we just have the E3 and an E8. It leaves an empty gap there. That is so that we can pop in the destroyed roof sections. Because one of the cool things about the Himetsu kits is that they come with demolished versions, so you can swap out for on-the-fly destruction is how they list it, and I think that's pretty sweet. Next we have the actual shingles, which again is this corrugated paper, and definitely use your knife to get this out. Don't try to twist it or pull it, because it will unravel the whole shebang if you are not careful. Now these top pieces, we can glue these into place. They're not going to be getting changed out or anything like that. These ones down here, I think it's actually the ones where it's got the gridded part. These are where we have destructible pieces that we can swap out as we play. Those pieces we don't want to glue in place. These pieces we do. Let's see if I can maybe get that. Maybe that fits better this way. No, it just leaves a little gap. That's okay. So I'm going to get these two top pieces glued into place, like so. And then again, these pieces, that's why there's no support there, because that's the support that's meant to be taken and removed. These sections, we can just glue right in. We don't have to worry about anything. These sections where it's like this, these are the parts that are going to be destructible, so we want to leave those alone for now. So we're going to go ahead and glue in these pieces, and then we'll take a look at the other parts. All right, so that's all of those pieces. Now, yours, I hope, is differently, but on mine, these long pieces on the end are not cut anywhere close to correct. These are jacked up. They required a lot of fiddling and cutting away material and just hoping I didn't cut away too much, which I did on this side. These are not correct. That needs to be remedied, hopefully in future kits or castings, but that does not fit on either side the way it's supposed to. Moving right along, we're not going to let that break our stride, although it is unfortunate. Now in these sections, we do not want to glue in these pieces. So again, we want to make sure that we don't glue those particular pieces in. We just want to get them in position, and then we're going to glue this to the supports, but not glue the supports in place. That way we can pop out the whole piece for our damaged sections. So we're gonna, I'm gonna try my best not to get glue on that middle bit right there. And we're gonna hope this works. So we're gonna get this into place, hold it down, and hope for the best. We'll do that for the other side as well. This uses an E8 and an one. And here we can see it with the damaged sections. Again, be really careful gluing these things in. Make sure you don't get those supports glued in, because it's gonna ruin your day a fair bit if you do. From there, we are finished with the roof. We have one piece left to assemble. That final piece is this thing. I'm not exactly sure what it is. Maybe the ring or the mat or something. I'm not entirely sure about this one, but it goes like that. And then these little pieces, again, I don't really know what they are, but they go just kind of in the middle. I think this is the ring. Like, I think this is a sparring ring for fighting. Yeah, I think this is a sumo ring. So there we've got that piece done. It doesn't give you a direction as far as where to glue it, so I think I'm going to probably leave it separate. That way I have some modularity. If I want to have an outside sparring ring or something like that, I can. And then we've also got, now I did not see this in the instructions anywhere, but we've got these two little windows right here, and those go up in the top section of the roof, up in the eaves. Let's clean that up just a little bit. And then those are going to pop in right there. Probably should have been, in hindsight, these definitely should have gone in before the roof went on so that you could actually get both hands in there to kind of hold it from each side. But we're going to do the very best that we can with the situation that we are presented. And hit it with some of that instant cure. Flip her around. Hit it with some glue. Pop it in very gently. Don't push it all the way through, because that would be disastrous, because I don't think that I would be able to get it out of there. I think that if it were to fall through at this point, it would just live inside the roof and make a bunch of racket. All right, let me see if I can get these sections out without destroying everything. I did, in fact, break it a little bit, but I was able to put the piece back together. This is the natural state of the roof, and this will be the way that I keep it the majority of the time. This is really cool, but it's also kind of inconvenient the way it functions, so I don't know that I will use those that much, although I may. At that point, we have a completed dojo. So let's look at the whole thing at once. Here is our completed dojo. Pretty easy kit, other than, you know, the little bit of difficulty here and having to be really careful with the broken sections. But overall, really easy kit to get together. And I really like this, the way that this paper turned out inside of those doors. That's pretty freaking sweet. But that, my friends, is going to do it for today. Thanks so much for tuning in, hanging out while I built a new toy. If you like this content and you want to see more of it, let me know in the comments, because I'm willing to do it. If you have pointers or advice, things that you would like to add about the format, the way that I do it, because I don't want it to be like a 2-hour long video of me just sitting here building this thing, so that's why it's chopped up and clipped. Let me know in the comments. And regardless of whether you do or don't let me know, I want you to know that I'm grateful that you stopped by and hung out while I build some toys today, and that I hope you have an absolutely amazing rest of your day.